This is VK3 Tango Whiskey Oscar. Today we're taking a bit of a look at the X108G in comparison to its baby brother, the X1M. So the X1M is the original version from Xiegu, a little 5-watt radio. This radio is only a 5-band radio on HF, does 80, 40, 20, 15 and 10. It does about 5 watts output. Fairly basic little radio, but very popular with guys and cracking them open and doing a lot of experimenting and adding features and what have you. The newer version, which has just been released September-October 2015, is the X108G. This is a 20-watt version, vastly improved over the original X1M. It's been in development for a couple of years now, and they've done a really good job of it. This is the outdoor version, and this here we have the standard version, or the indoor version. The standard version actually has a lot more little features, extra buttons and what have you, though the display is a lot more populated and a bit harder to read in sunlight. So the more popular one is the outdoor version, which has much easier to read display and simpler functions. Anyway, that's just a very brief comparison between the two radios physically. The new X108G, this is an all-band HF radio. So whereas the X1M was only a 5-band, this one does from 160 meters all the way through to 10 meters. It also includes the WARC bands. Compared to the X1M, it's got a vastly improved AGC. It's got 3 different levels: off, fast and slow. Of course, this is a 20-watt version as opposed to the 5-watt version. It's got a much more sensitive receiver in it. I think the X1M, the sensitivity was about 0.45 microvolts. On 160 meters, this one's about 0.5 microvolts, so not the best, but on the rest of HF, it's 0.3 microvolts. So 0.3 microvolts as opposed to 0.45, so it's much more sensitive than the original one. About 600 milliamps receive current, whereas the X1M is 500. This one has a 6-pole filter for each of the bands, so it's much better filtering than the original version, which of course only has the 5-band filters. One of the big downsides to the X1M, which a lot of people didn't like, was that it has no S meter on it, so you couldn't see any signal levels and give signal reports. A few people have modified and made their own add-on S meters, which have been quite popular, whereas the new model has got an included S meter. It also has an SWR meter, a power meter. This one's also got high SWR protection for the finals, and just all around a much better radio. One thing I really like is these little protector brackets on the ends. It's obviously designed as a bit of a, well, being called an outdoor version, to be sort of thrown around a bit per se, and any sort of knocks and bumps are not going to damage the case or the knobs or connectors or what have you. So I think that's a brilliant idea. Anyway, there we have it. That's the comparison between the X108G 20-watt HF single sideband CW and AM transceiver, compared to the old X1M 5-bander 5-watter. 7 3s, VK3 Tango Whiskey Oscar.